Hey, this is Tracy Lewis with Stuff and Things. Today is Friday. I had promised that I would make a card or a project with the chicks that I colored in last week's Basic White comparing to Whisper White test. So they were these guys, and I did do a project, and because it's Friday, I decided to make a Fun Fold Friday project. And I am going to share it with you and we'll break it down. If I was better at making fun fold cards, I would have done it real time, but I am not the best at thinking through on the fly how to coordinate some of these pieces. So as you know, there's all these fun dies that come with both of the chick sets. And so I incorporated a lot of those to make sort of a diorama scene, but using a Z-fold. So the first thing, before I even share the project with you, is I'm going to talk about scoring. So this was the one that I scored incorrectly. You score it in the middle. What I forgot to do was flip it. You need to flip it over, and then you score on the left side at 2 3/4. Then you have your mountain and your valley in the right places to look the way they're supposed to look, which is the opposite of what this one was. So like I said, you score halfway down the center, flip it, and then score it 2 3/4. So that's a really important thing. That was the very first thing I did wrong. So I'm going to teach you what not to do when I show you what I did. So this is what I came up with. I used the two blends, colored chicks in this one. Oh, and I have a little, I'll see if I can get that off. That feels like it's a little bit of glue, because I used the liquid glue for adhering a lot of these pieces. So first I popped up the first chick on a stump, which is one of the fun dies. Then I used the fence, as you can see, and the first mistake I made, so we're going to talk about the fence. The fence, the first time I put it together, it's actually quite short. So I had left the die out. It's only that long, so you definitely have to piece together a second set of fence. I made the mistake of not double checking where my fold in the fence would be, so when I folded it the first time, my fence had gone off the edge and it would not fit in an envelope. So that's something to consider. And then I needed to have set it down. Here's what it looks like out. Let's see if I can have you see the cute scene inside. And I'll talk about one of the other interesting things I did. It comes with a sack of food. I thought that would be fun. There's a reason why that is there. I will explain that. So when I started doing my fence, I had it laid out. I had some of the scene done and laid on, and I made the fence go where the sack of grain is. When I had it go that far, that's where it had its problem. When I folded it this way, then it went too far. So the reason why the sack of grain got to go there was because there's a little goober where I had the fence originally attached. So lay it flat. I picked a fold. I was folding here at this double, which is where I glued the two pieces together. And if you look at the back side, I actually taped, so this is the first length right here. Then I had the second length, and I was folding it at the end of the second length, and that's where you can see it just got too long. So it's not perfect. If anybody has any tricks about these fences, I just went ahead then when the fold was at the end of the tab and it didn't work, I went ahead and folded it too short right there, and I just bent it. I've got the little chick. I actually have this guy. Originally I was going to have him be on the front, but I didn't want to get it too overly busy because the scene itself is busy. So I opted instead to go for the cleaner front with the fun chick on the front, on the stump, and then you have the whole scene on the inside. I also really wanted room here for somebody to write something, and they could also write on the back. I think either way would work. So that's all I've got. I'm worried about the fence pieces, the little folds not lasting. I used glue for everything except for where I used dimensionals. I even used glue for this happy birthday. So dimensionals where I popped anything up. And I'm going to have to work on reinforcing the fence. I have it right here. It's attached by the little tang, and it won't stay with the glue, so I'm probably going to consider a way to make it a little more sturdy. Another possibility that I didn't even think of that I'm thinking of right now is to double the thickness of the fence just to give it more support. But I think for a mock-up, since I am not an expert 3D creator, I think it's very cute. Now, let's talk about in the back here, you'll see the chicken coop. I've seen samples where they take the chicken coop and they make it out of colored cardstock and they piece together the layers, but it looked so different from the colored chickens that I opted instead to cut it out. In fact, I used basic white because I had some of the basic white sitting on my desk. And then you'll see that I colored it with blends. And then I took a multi-liner and I just outlined, and I didn't even make it perfect, but I outlined the door and the windows. There's 2 windows with, and the yellow is supposed to be their straw for their bed. And that is, you can see, there's some straw shapes in all 3 places, the door and the 2 windows. So that is what I did to make it match better with the chicks. And like I said, this end here needs a little more work. I could use a little piece of tear and tape, which tear and tape is the advised adhesive for using on 3D projects, and that's probably why it's not quite staying in place. So that's my project for today. I owe a second project with the rest of these chicks. I might just use one of them. I have 4. And I have an idea that I want to put together for at least one of them, and then I could end up making 4 cards with the same layout and just change up the sentiments. And then I will have delivered on my promise of making projects with these chicks I colored. So, any suggestions on that fencing? Pop it in the comments or over on my blog. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel and hit that bell so you're notified when my new videos drop. Thanks for watching.